Look closely at an English coin from the 1540s, and you will see the king going rusty. The silver skin is so thin that the very first place it wears away is the highest point of the design, the tip of the king's nose, and underneath, a dull red-brown copper shows through. All across England, ordinary people are turning their money over in their palms and watching their sovereign's face blush the color of a cheap kettle. They have even given him a nickname, one that a man could lose his head for saying too loudly, Old Coppernose. This is the story of how Henry VIII, the most famous king in English history, quietly robbed his own people, not with a tax, but with a furnace. Henry had not always been broke. Early in his reign, he inherited one of the fattest treasuries in Europe, and then, spectacularly, he spent it. There were the wars, campaign after campaign against France and Scotland, the most ruinously expensive habit a Renaissance king could have. There was the court, gilded and gluttonous, and there was the great windfall he had already burned through, the dissolution of the monasteries, when the crown seized the vast wealth of the English church and somehow still ended up short. By the 1540s, the richest king in Christendom was scraping the bottom. He could not raise taxes fast enough without risking revolt. So he turned, as so many rulers in this series have, to the one lever that feels free, the coinage itself. The scheme was elegant in its dishonesty. An English shilling was supposed to be almost pure silver, sterling, the standard the very word still means. Henry's mint masters began cutting that silver with copper, a little at first, then brazenly, until by the end coins that passed as silver were closer to a quarter silver and 3/4 base metal. To hide it, each blank was given a thin silver wash, so it left the mint gleaming. But use wears a coin, and it wears the high points first, and the highest point on the design was the royal nose. So the king's own face became the telltale. The crown, meanwhile, pocketed the difference between what the coins were worth and what it forced them to be spent at. A hidden profit historians reckon in the hundreds of thousands of pounds, an ocean of money conjured from a lie about metal. What happened next is a law of money so reliable it now bears a Tudor name. A royal financier called Thomas Gresham watched it in action and put it plainly for the crown. Bad money drives out good. Faced with two coins of equal face value, one honest silver, one silver-washed copper, no one in their right mind spends the good one. They spend the trash and keep the treasure. So the full silver coins vanished overnight, hoarded in cellars, melted for their metal, or shipped across the channel where merchants weighed them honestly. In the great market of Antwerp, England's coin was discounted like spoiled goods, its exchange rate sliding, its reputation with it. A king can command what a coin says. He cannot command what a foreigner believes it is worth. For the people of England, the debasement arrived as something they had no word for yet, but felt in the belly, prices that would not stop climbing. As each coin carried less real silver, it bought less real bread, and the cost of food and cloth rose through the 1540s while wages dragged behind. The laborer, paid in thin coin, found his week's wage shrinking in his hand. The saver watched a lifetime's careful hoard quietly lose a third of its value without a single shilling being taken from him. The crown had discovered the perfect crime, a way to reach into every purse in the kingdom at once and leave the number on the coin unchanged so that most people never quite understood who had robbed them. That is the true genius and the true menace of debasement. The debasement outlived Henry himself, sinking to its worst under the boy king who followed, until by 1551 the silver in a shilling had almost drained away. Then, at last, came the reckoning. In 1560, the new Queen, Elizabeth, and her financier, Thomas Gresham, did the hard, honest thing their predecessors had dodged. They publicly cried down the base coins, announcing that the debased money was worth only a fraction of its stamped value, and called it all in, melting the trash and striking fine, full silver coin once more. It was painful. Someone always eats the loss when a lie is finally priced. But it worked. England's money was clean again, its credit abroad restored, and Elizabeth would build a golden age on the honesty of her coin. The furnace that had robbed a nation was, in the end, used to pay it back. The warning sign of Old Coppernose is the quietest and most useful in this whole series. A government can rob you without raising a single tax. By making each coin or each dollar or each digit in your account worth a little less, it reaches into every purse at once and takes its cut. And because the number on the money never changes, most people never file a complaint against a thief they cannot see. Inflation is the tax nobody votes for. So the next time you are told prices simply went up, ask the older question: did the bread get dearer, or did the money get thinner? Now, Henry at least kept some silver in the coin. 2 centuries later, across an ocean, a brand new nation would try to fund an entire revolution with paper, backed by nothing but hope and a promise of victory, and print so much of it that its own name became an insult. Not worth a continental. Tomorrow. A new fortune falls here every day. Subscribe.